Is Placer County ready to take the next step in restoring salmon runs to their historic numbers? Friends of Auburn Ravine think so, and that's why they've sponsored a field trip to look at an innovative program in Yellow County, Placer County's neighbor to the north. On a wind-blown day in March, the Friends of Auburn Ravine hosted several county officials on a field trip to Yuba County to learn how young salmon are being raised in rice fields. As the rain fell sideways, they learned from Carson Jeffries of the Center of Watershed Sciences at UC Davis how young salmon are reared in the flooded fields.
And so we have 3 cages here, the first 3 cages that you see, and then we have 3 cages that are in the tow drain floating, and then we have 3 cages that are in the river floating at the Conway intake. Did you guys see the big construction thing happening right on that?
We kind of learned with our farmers and a lot of them that even though the traditional date to put up flashboards and start putting water out in the fields is March 15th, a lot of them don't do it till the middle of April.
It's weather dependent.
It's weather dependent.
Yeah. And
what kind of MOUs, permits, and consultation, state and federal, and safe harbor agreements?
We don't have any safe harbor agreements right now because there aren't any dangers.
The fields are rich in nutrients vital to the fish's growth, allowing them to gain weight faster than salmon in streams.
They're ready to go. They're ready to go. But most of these are big. I mean, you can almost count these in macroinvertebrate size. Actually grazing through these fields. And this is what makes fish big, is that when you have this sort of productivity from spreading water out, then you start to really see the benefits of what a floodplain does.
Jeffries netted a few salmon kept in enclosures in the field where their growth is monitored and showed them to the group.
So they were about this big 4 weeks ago, and they averaged about 0.6 grams. And now we're averaging in the upper 70s, low 80s, and about 6 or 7 grams.
Look at the bellies on those guys. Oh man, that's the Shasta.
Like a field trip up on your, it's just, just a hop, skip, and a jump up, and you can go to the weir right now. It actually should be pretty high. But so these big fat fish that we're releasing out of the bypass here have made it down to the Golden Gate in as little as 8 days, which really shows their motivation that they're ready to be productive in the saltwater environment. And then this is one of the fish that had been out in the floodplain out here on our rice fields. And so really one of the things that you're looking at is you want to essentially turn these little runs that don't have a chance of heading out to the ocean and being successful into the floodplain fatties that, when they hit the ocean and it's not necessarily great conditions, they have a lunch packed and they're going to be able to handle some of those tougher times in the ocean if it's not corresponding to the upwelling and the high productivity that's happening at the time when they get. So when fish are returning from the system, after all the eggs a female lays, to maintain the population size, you only need to have 2 of them come back if you want to keep the same. If you have 3 of them come back, then you're increasing the population over time.
Placer County has a number of watersheds that supported salmon in the past. The county's 1997 Ecosystem Restoration Plan identified Coon Creek, Auburn Ravine, and Dry Creek as opportunities for riparian restoration. Jeffries pointed out that historically the Sacramento Valley flooded annually, forming vast lakes before dams, levees, and bypasses stabilized the river. Scientists theorized that the abundance of salmon noted by early California settlers might be because juvenile salmon utilize these flood waters. The Nagiri Project is providing evidence that that may be the case. Placer County has an incredible diversity of habitat, ranging from alpine environments at the crest of the Sierra Nevada range to lush farmlands down on the valley floor. Friends of Auburn Ravine thinks we can build on our successes in the past, projects like the Lincoln Fish Passage on the Auburn Ravine, by seeing how the Nagiri Project could work in our county.
That's one of the things I just love about the fish out here. I mean, this is what juvenile salmon are supposed to look like.